Hey folks, Gene from Regular Guy Mountain Biking. In this video, we're going to be focusing on the rear derailleur. We'll talk about the different screws and adjustments there are on the rear derailleur and how to use them to get your rear derailleur to shift smoothly. Alright, before we can actually start tuning the rear derailleur, I want to show you the different screws that are on the rear derailleur and give you an idea of what they do. So let's go back there and take a look at them right now. On a rear derailleur, there are three different screws that you're going to be focusing in on. One screw or adjustment is going to allow you to adjust how far the derailleur goes in and out, or rather, let's just say up and down. This adjusts how close the track wheels get to the actual cassette itself. You also have two other screws. They're basically stopper pins. They will, after setting them, will dictate how far the derailleur can go all the way in to here and how far it can come all the way out. So between the three, you'll adjust where you're going to start, where you're going to stop, and how close the rear derailleur is to the largest gear on the cassette. There's also one other adjustment you should know about, and that's going to be up here by your shifter itself. There's a small little barrel adjustment screw that you need to know about. So you use this to make small changes of tension on the cable. This one comes in really handy because as you start using the rear derailleur more and more with a brand new cable that might have been installed, that cable is going to stretch. And this helps you make those small micro adjustments without having to go and move the cable and tighten it up on the back of the bike. You can actually make these small adjustments when you're riding the bike and you start feeling the bike maybe not shifting correctly. You can turn this while you're riding and you can sometimes adjust the derailleur on the fly. So that's one of the other adjustments you need to know about. So now that you know what the different adjustments are to help tune in your rear derailleur, let's start using them. The first thing I do before I even touch this rear derailleur at all is I come up here to that barrel adjustment and I turn it all the way in. I'll show you a picture of what that looks like now. And then I turn it out maybe 4 or 5 turns, just enough so you can see the little metal insert to start to come out. Again, I'll show you a picture of that now. The reason why I do that is because I want to have a little bit of room to go back in if I need to loosen the cable, but I want to have a lot of room later on because I know the cable is going to stretch because this is a brand new cable, so I know I can tweak that later on and pull the cable out a little bit. Once this barrel adjuster is set up the way I want it, now I move back to the rear derailleur. So let's go back now and I'll show you what you're going to do over there. Number one thing I do first is I go and I will loosen up the actual cable attached to the rear derailleur. Because the first thing you need to do when you want to get this adjusted is set your starting point, and you don't need the cable over here to screw that up. The thing you need to understand is that your derailleur is designed to go this full length. There's nothing you can do to adjust the different spaces in between. That's all done by the shifter and the way the rear derailleur is designed to work with that shifter. All you can adjust is the beginning and the end. Once those are set up correctly, all the rest is pretty much done based on the shifter and the rear derailleur. Okay, cool. Well, let's see how this is going right now. Right now, it's actually tracking pretty good. But let's break it. Let's screw this up where it could possibly be wrong. To do that, we'll take one of these adjustment screws and actually screw it up. So what I'm doing right now, I'm not sure if you can see this, but I'm actually taking the stopper screw that will stop how far this can go out to the out part of the bike, to the far outside of the bike, and I'm basically messing it up. Now watch what happens when I do this. See? Can you see this? Watch what happens right here. The chain comes off. The chain is coming off because the derailleur is too far out. Okay, so what you do then is, well, you got to fix it. Now I know it's going to be wrong because I did it on purpose. So that means you need to start setting the screw and you just start pulling it in a little bit. Okay, I pulled it in a little bit. Let's just get it to the point where it's a little bit better. All right, now it's still not great. Okay, so let's go and set this in a little bit more. And you can actually feel the derailleur move in. Put your hand on that when you turn this. You'll feel the derailleur move. Let's go a little bit more now. Okay, so now it's tracking well. Let's purposely screw this up. Listen to the rear derailleur. Here, tick, 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 tick. It's starting to move off. Okay, So again, we've gone too far. No problem, let's fix that. Okay, we'll put our hand here, we'll feel it move in a little bit. Now guess what? If you go too far the other way, watch what happens. Everything's cool. Now watch what happens. Again, I'm gonna purposely screw this up. I'm gonna purposely screw this up again, and listen to the rear derailleur and listen to the chain. I'm going in really far now. You can hear it start clicking again. Here we go. You can hear that? Click, 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 click. Can you hear that noise? Click, click, click. That's because the chain is trying to jump to the next gear in the cassette. I'll go a little bit further. Guess what? If you go too far, it'll actually want to shift to the next one. So that means my derailleur is now too far in. The idea is to find the common ground in between. So now I'm going to go out a little bit again. Get that to stop. Okay, now it's stopping. That's what I would call a good starting point right there. So now we'll attach the cable to the rear derailleur, and shifting should technically be fine, but it might not reach the largest gear on the cassette, or it may go too far out. And that's because we have to adjust the next screw, and we'll do that one now. Okay, let's go and attach this cable back into the rear derailleur. Pull it snug, but not really, really hard. Snug, but not too hard. And the reason why you don't have to crank on this is because, if you remember earlier, we did not go too far out on that barrel adjustment screw up on the shifter. So we can tension this very easily from up there because we have plenty of room. All right, let's see how this works. We've got the derailleur set for the farmost gear. We've got our cable set. And now we do a little bit of shifting now and see how this whole thing pays out. Okay, here we are. Okay, not going up. Not a problem. We come over here to the barrel adjuster and make it a little bit tighter now. Okay, let's see what happens now. Remember, we have to get it to shift one time. A little bit more. There we go. Barrel adjustment got it where we want it. See that? Now we have our starting point where we want it. And we can go up. See everything in the middle here? See all these different gears? Yeah, they're shifting. I can't adjust that. There's nothing I can do about that part. You can't do anything about that. That's all based on the derailleur and the shifter. What you can do is the next part. The final gear up on top. Now this one's luckily getting right up there, but again, we're gonna break that one just like we did the first time around and show you what that looks like when this is not correct. Now before I go and adjust that other set screw, I want to show you what that set screw does that allows you to move the derailleur in and out. Because if that's not set correctly, you might not ever be able to get out to that this larger ring, this larger gear on the cassette, because the derailleur could actually be hitting it. Or the derailleur may be down too far and it's not tracking close enough and the chain can pop off. So let's adjust this screw and I'll show you what's going on. There's a screw right back here. Take a look what's going on with the derailleur right now as I turn it all the way out. It's hard to tell, but if you were here, you might be able to see this right now. But the derailleur is actually starting to go down. All right, I'm going to shift it down one and pull this screw out, and you'll see that the derailleur is actually going to hit right in here. I'm going to turn this out now. And now, once I turn this out, now you should be able to see that this, I'm going to the extreme right now. This pulley is actually going to hit that. So there's no way for the derailleur to even slide out any further because of the way this screw is set up. So let me now go and turn it in and watch the actual derailleur come down. Here, it's going to start coming down now. Try not to shake the bike. Can you see the derailleur starting to come down? All right, once you get that far enough down where it's just below the biggest the biggest ring, the biggest gear on the cassette, you're in a good place. Now I can go and shift up. And if you take a look, this is in a good place now. So we're doing good. Only one more screw to adjust, and that's going to be the one to adjust how far out into the bike the derailleur can go to get to that big gear on the cassette. So let's go adjust that one now. If you take a look at the shifting, it's actually doing pretty good. So sometimes you just get lucky, right? We can go all the way down, all right? And we're going all the way up just fine. But just like with everything else, let's go and bust it, and then I will fix it again for you. So here we are, and this is my one right here. We want to adjust this one. This guy right here. If you take a look inside, you can see what these push against, and you know what's going on. I'm gonna go and adjust it so that it comes. I'm going to adjust it so that it breaks it and it pushes it in some. Okay, we're going to start hearing the clicking again. Oh, see how that fell down? We're in the gear. I can't shift any higher. See, I can't shift any more. All right, so it wants the shifter wants it to be here, but the derailleur says, well, I can't go that far. So now we have to set this stop screw. So just like with the other one, we come over here, we do a little adjustment. Okay. Make a little move, just a little turn over here. Okay. Okay, here clicking. Okay, we're almost there. Let's go a little more. Oh, just about. And that's going to do it. Maybe just give it a little bit more just in case. And that's it. We've now set the set screw that controls how far the derailleur can go to the largest gear on the cassette. And we've set the set screw that controls how far down the derailleur can go to the smallest gear on the cassette. As I mentioned before, everything in between we have no control of. Hopefully you found this video helpful. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Do me a favor, share these videos with all your friends, and give me some comments. If I forgot anything that you normally do, please let me know, because I want to share those tips with others. And if you like what I did here, give me some comments and let me know. That's everything I got. Keep the party on the pedals, my folks. Check out some of the other videos we have around here, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.